Okay, so you're here because you want to get to the heart of things, right? You want to dive deep into a topic and really understand it
Yeah, get that full picture.
without getting bogged down in all the little details.
Absolutely cut through the noise.
And today, that topic, well, it's a pretty fascinating one. We're looking at the career of Melek Asmare Alemu. This guy's a water resources engineer, and he's been doing some really impressive work in Ethiopia for over 20 years.
And I think what's so cool about this deep dive is that we're really going to see how much impact one person can have. We've got his resume, and it just lays out this amazing journey. It goes all the way from small communities to, regional development and even beyond.
Yeah, it's like a master class in how expertise translates into real action in the real world.
Hmm.
So we're not going to just list out his job titles. That's not really helpful.
Right, just a boring list.
Yeah, exactly. We want to pull out those key insights, those things that connect all the different parts of his career, and ultimately see what we can learn from them.
What can we take away from this and apply to, our own work and lives?
Exactly. So let's start at the very beginning, right? His education. He has a B.Sc in Agricultural Engineering and Mechanization. Then he went on to get an M.Sc in Water Resource Engineering and Management.
So right away, you see that foundation, right? That core technical knowledge that's going to be crucial for everything he does.
Totally. But then there's something that kind of jumps out at you. He also has an LLB law degree.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting, right? Not what you typically expect.
Not your typical engineer.
No, not at all. But think about it. Think about all the legal issues that come up when you're dealing with water.
Right. Water rights, environmental regulations, it's all pretty complex.
Absolutely. And having that legal background must have been a huge advantage for him, navigating all that.
Makes you wonder how it shaped his approach to the work, right?
Okay.
Maybe for the better.
I'd say so, yeah. Okay, so let's move on to his early career. He started out as an agricultural engineering instructor. Get this, he trained over 800 students every single year.
That's amazing. Just think about the reach of that. It's not just one job that's like spreading knowledge across an entire sector.
It's like planting seeds for the future.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And then he moved into a role where he could really apply those technical skills. He became a soil and water conservation and harvesting engineer.
Okay, so this is where we start to see that direct impact.
Yeah, he's credited with a 35% reduction in soil erosion over almost 8,000 hectares. And he enhanced water availability for over 2,000 farmers.
Wow, through like 80 different water harvesting structures.
80, and that's just the beginning.
I mean, that's huge right there. Think about how much that improves the lives of those farmers.
It's a game changer. Now, a little later on, he became the farm mechanization head. This is where we start to see another side of his expertise.
Right, not just the engineering, but also the management side.
Yeah, exactly. He improved equipment efficiency by 15% and even reduced costs by 10%. So he's thinking about optimizing resources, making things more efficient.
Which is so important, especially when you're working on large-scale projects.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Okay, so then comes his time as a water and infrastructure development engineer. And this is where things really start to scale up.
This is where the impact gets big.
He spearheaded a $2.5 million initiative that benefited over 5,000 families. He also increased agricultural productivity by 23% and oversaw the construction of over 10 community roads.
Wow, so it's not just about water anymore, it's about the whole community.
It's about connecting water infrastructure to broader economic development.
Exactly, improving people's lives in a bunch of different ways.
And then there's his time as a senior irrigation engineer. This is where the numbers get really impressive. He supervised 10 dams, 86 water structures, expanded irrigable land by a whopping 50,000 hectares.
And that benefited something like 400,000 farmers?
400,000. That's massive.
That's changing the face of a whole region.
And he also developed maintenance guides for these irrigation systems. So he's thinking long term.
Making sure those systems stay functional for years to come.
Now, we also see this really crucial role he played as an emergency wash project officer.
Oh, yeah, so this is where things get a little bit different.
He had to be adaptable.
Right, responding to a crisis.
He quickly provided clean water to over 16,000 people and helped reduce the risk of disease.
Wow, so it's about immediate relief using his skills to help people in need.
Exactly. Then his focus shifts to this really vital connection between water sanitation and education. He became a one-wash/senior water supply engineering technical specialist.
So that's a mouthful.
It is. He basically oversaw a ton of latrines and water projects across a bunch of different districts.
Making sure kids have access to clean water and sanitation in schools?
Yeah, he trained over 3.25 million students in WASH, that's water, sanitation, and hygiene, and he established 250 WASH clubs.
So he's not just building things, he's educating people.
empowering them to create a healthier environment.
Absolutely. It's about long-term change.
Then, as an irrigation/hydraulic specialist, he worked on improving living conditions in 30 model villages.
So this is about finding solutions that can be scaled up right, sharing best practices.
Exactly. He developed strategic plans, trained stakeholders, and get this, he designed and built greenhouses that boosted crop yields by 40%.
That's amazing.
That's a game changer for those communities.
And it shows how irrigation expertise can combine with other innovations to really make a difference.
And now for his current role, he's an irrigation design engineer.
So he's still at it.
Yeah, he's overseeing a 4,520-hectare irrigation system, which is expected to increase crop output by another 20%.
Wow, so he's still involved in these huge projects.
He's supervising water diversion structures, completing studies, it's all go.
Okay, so let's step back for a second and look at all this experience. What are those core competencies, those key skills he's developed over time?
Well, you see irrigation system design and construction management. There's hydrological and hydraulic modeling.
WS program implementation, rural development strategies, project planning and management. It's a pretty diverse skill set.
Yeah, it takes a lot to be effective in this field.
And it's not just the theory either. He's proficient in all sorts of technical tools like AutoCAD GS Epinit.
Oh, and MS Project Primavera for managing all those projects.
Right, so he's got the practical skills to back it all up.
And it's important to understand what some of these tools actually do, like hydrological modeling. That's basically using data about things like rainfall and water flow to predict how water resources will behave.
Which is essential for designing irrigation systems and managing water supplies effectively.
Right. And then there's GIS, Geographic Information Systems.
Yeah.
That helps you analyze spatial data, which is super useful for planning projects across large areas.
It's all about making informed decisions, designing things efficiently, managing complex systems.
Exactly. Oh, and his fluency in Amharic and English.
That's got to be a big help.
Absolutely for communication and collaboration.
And finally, he has a professional engineering license.
Which shows he meets all the standards and follows all the ethical guidelines.
It's that extra level of reassurance for everyone involved.
Okay, so we've gone through his journey, we've seen his skills, but let's talk about the results, the quantifiable achievements.
This is where it gets really exciting.
We're talking a 20 to 40% boost in agricultural productivity across different projects. He's provided clean water access to over 200,000 people, and that's led to a 25% reduction in waterborne diseases.
That's incredible. I mean, that's a huge improvement in people's lives.
And the scale of the infrastructure he's been involved with is mind-blowing. Over 10 community roads, more than 100 water-related structures assisting over 600,000 farmers.
That's development on a massive scale.
And he's also trained over 500 schools and 200 stakeholders.
So he's passing on that knowledge, making sure things keep running smoothly in the long term.
Exactly. And he's managed projects worth almost $1 billion.
$1 billion with a B.
Yeah, and he's achieved 10% cost savings through efficient resource management. So he's not just a technical expert, he's also a really good manager.
He's the whole package.
He really is. So I think what we see here is that Melek Asmare Alemu's career is like this amazing example of how expertise in water resource management combined with a bunch of different skills and a dedication to community development can really make a lasting impact.
It's inspiring, right? It shows you what's possible.
And it makes you think, doesn't it? He's got this blend of engineering management, even a legal background. He's training others. It's not just one path.
It's a unique combination.
And maybe that's the key. Maybe the most impactful paths are the ones that don't fit neatly into a box. What do you think? What unexpected skills and knowledge could you bring together to make a difference?
Something to ponder for sure.
Something to ponder.
Yeah, food for thought.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time.